Did you know that potatoes were once worth their weight in gold? Back in the day, these humble tubers were seriously valuable. They've fed civilizations, caused revolutions, and even saved lives during famines. And here's the crazy part. Those golden spuds you get from the store, they are nothing like the ones you can grow yourself. I'm talking about potatoes so good, you'll never want to buy them again. Welcome to Don't Do This Guide, where we turn everyday tasks into extraordinary successes. If you find value in this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to join our growing community. Let's dig in. So, you're thinking about growing your own potatoes? Good call. It's honestly one of the most rewarding things you can do in your garden. They're fresher, more flavorful, and you can actually taste the difference. Plus, you know what went into growing them. No weird chemicals or pesticides. Just pure, natural goodness. Growing your own potatoes is way more sustainable. You're cutting down on transportation emissions, plastic packaging, and all that other stuff that's bad for the planet. Seriously, those little seed potatoes you plant can multiply like crazy, giving you a huge harvest for just a few bucks. And let's not forget the satisfaction factor. There's just something so rewarding about growing your own food. Trust me, once you start growing your own, you'll never go back to store-bought again. Alright, so you're ready to start your potato growing journey? Awesome! The first step is choosing the right type of potato. First up, we've got the starchy potatoes. These guys are the kings and queens of mashed potatoes, French fries, and anything else where you want that fluffy, melt-in-your-mouth texture. Some popular starchy varieties include Russet Burbank, Idaho, and Yukon Gold. Next, we've got the waxy potatoes. These guys are the superstars of potato salads, gratins, and any dish where you want the potatoes to hold their shape after cooking. Red Bliss, Yukon Gold, and fingerling potatoes are all good examples of waxy potatoes. Now, if you're looking for something a little different, check out the all-purpose potatoes. They're not too starchy, not too waxy. They're just right for pretty much anything. Some popular all-purpose varieties include Gold Rush, Yellow Fin, and Kennebec. When choosing a potato variety, it's important to consider your local climate and growing conditions. Some potatoes are better suited for cooler climates, while others can handle the heat. So, there you have it, a crash course on potato types. Now go forth and choose the perfect spuds for your plot. Alright, now that you've chosen your potato variety, it's time to prepare your growing space. Potatoes love sunshine, so pick a spot that gets at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day. They're not too picky about soil, but it needs to be well drained. You don't want your potatoes sitting in soggy soil all day long. That's a recipe for disaster. Start by clearing away any weeds or grass. We want to give our potatoes all the space they need to grow. Loosen up the soil with a shovel, a garden fork, or even a rototiller if you've got one. The goal is to create a nice, loose, crumbly texture that will allow your potatoes to spread their roots and access all those nutrients. Before you plant your potatoes, it's a good idea to amend the soil with some organic matter. This could be anything from compost to aged manure to leaf mold. Trust me, your potatoes will thank you for it. Alright, it's time for the main event, planting your potatoes. Now before you plant your potatoes, you need to chit them. Chitting is just a fancy word for sprouting. All you have to do is place your seed potatoes in a bright, cool spot for a few weeks. This will encourage them to start sprouting eyes, which are basically little baby potato plants. Once your potatoes have sprouted nice, strong eyes, they're ready to go in the ground. When it comes to planting potatoes, you don't plant the whole potato. Instead, you want to cut the potatoes into pieces, making sure each piece has at least 1 or 2 eyes. Dig yourself a trench that's about 6 inches deep and 12 inches wide. If you're planting multiple rows, space them about 2 to 3 feet apart. Place the potato pieces cut side down and eyes facing up, spacing them about 12 inches apart. Once you've got your potatoes all snuggled in their trenches, cover them with about 4 inches of soil. Don't worry about filling in the entire trench just yet. We'll do that later. And that's it. You've officially planted your potatoes. Now all you have to do is water them in well and wait for the magic to happen. Alright, your potatoes are officially in the ground. Congrats! Potatoes need consistent moisture, especially when they're first getting established. So make sure you're watering them deeply and regularly, especially during dry spells. A good rule of thumb is to give them about 1 inch of water per week. Now here's a little secret to growing monster potatoes. Hilling. Hilling is basically just mounding soil up around the base of your potato plants as they grow. This helps prevent the potatoes from getting sunburned, encourages the plants to produce more potatoes, and makes your garden look super tidy. Potatoes are heavy feeders, which means they need a lot of nutrients to grow big and strong. You can give them a boost by fertilizing them every few weeks with a balanced fertilizer. But it's not all about water and food. Potatoes also need a little bit of love and attention. That means keeping an eye out for pests and diseases, and dealing with them promptly. So make sure you're inspecting your plants regularly for any signs of trouble. Alright, let's be real. Gardening isn't always sunshine and roses. Sometimes you have to deal with pesky critters who think your potato plants are their own personal salad bar. First up, let's talk about potato beetles. They love to munch on potato leaves and can do a lot of damage. Pick them off by hand and drop them into soapy water. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. Next up, aphids. They suck the sap out of potato plants. Spray them with a strong blast of water. Flea beetles chew tiny holes in leaves. Use row covers or plant catnip or basil to repel them. Blight is a common potato disease. It causes dark spots on leaves and tubers. Choose blight-resistant varieties and ensure good air circulation. Be vigilant, proactive, and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Alright, folks, the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to harvest those golden nuggets of goodness. After weeks of tending your potato patch, the anticipation is killing me, and I bet you're ready to dig in too. So, how do you know when your potatoes are ready for harvest? First, the potato plants will start to flower, and then those flowers will wither and die back. Second, the leaves of the plants will start to yellow and brown. And finally, if you gently brush away some of the soil around the base of the plants, you should start to see potatoes poking through. The best way to harvest potatoes is to carefully loosen the soil around the plants with a digging fork, being careful not to damage the tubers. Once the soil is loose, you can gently lift the plants out of the ground and inspect your bounty. Now, here's a pro tip. Don't wash your potatoes right after you harvest them. The dirt on the potatoes actually helps to protect them and keep them fresher for longer. Once you've harvested your potatoes, it's time to celebrate. You've successfully grown your own food, and that's something to be proud of. Now go forth and enjoy those delicious homegrown spuds. Alright, you've mastered the basics of growing potatoes in the ground. But did you know that there are tons of other cool and creative ways to grow these versatile tubers? Get ready to unleash your inner spud wizard with these potato power moves. First up, let's talk about container gardening. Don't have a ton of space? No problem. You can easily grow potatoes in containers like buckets, barrels, or even grow bags. Next, let's talk about vertical gardening. Short on horizontal space? No worries. You can grow potatoes vertically using a variety of methods like stacking tires, building potato towers, or even hanging planters. Another cool method is aeroponics. Aeroponics is similar to hydroponics, but instead of suspending the roots in water, they're misted with a nutrient-rich solution. So there you have it. A few potato power moves to take your spud game to the next level. Get creative, experiment, and have fun with it. Alright, my fellow potato enthusiasts, you've made it to the bonus round. I'm about to drop some serious potato knowledge on you. First up, did you know that potatoes are actually a good source of vitamin C? That's right, these humble tubers are packed with nutrients. They also contain potassium, fiber, and antioxidants. Now here's a fun fact. The world's largest potato weighed in at a whopping 18 pounds, 4 ounces. That's bigger than a newborn baby. This monster spud was grown by a farmer in England. Here's another pro tip. If you want to speed up the chitting process, try placing your seed potatoes in a paper bag with a ripe apple. The ethylene gas released by the apple will help to promote sprouting. Now go forth and spread the potato love. Congratulations! You're now equipped to grow potatoes so good, you'll never need to buy them again. Imagine biting into a potato that's not only fresh, but grown with your own hands. It's satisfying, sustainable, and downright delicious. If this video inspired you, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with fellow garden enthusiasts, and don't forget to subscribe to Don't Do This Guide for more tips and tricks to master the art of self-sufficiency. Happy growing!